Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the Daily Zone, the daily video on this channel with me, your host, yours truly, Calvzone, or whatever you want to call me. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. As the title of this video will suggest, the topic we will be discussing is, I'm reading again. Yes, I know. The once in a blue moon where I decided to start reading. These are the 3 books I have decided to start reading. I'll put them a little closer so you can read the text. Yeah, I know. I haven't read any of The Hobbit yet, but it's on the list. Because essentially, these were the top row. You see the Game of Thrones and the Lord of the Rings. Let me remove something off my screen a little bit so I can see my full screen. But yeah, I read the first chapter of the Game of Thrones and of the Horus Heresy because obviously I'm getting really into Warhammer 40k. My friend even sent me a flow chart of I think the way I'm supposed to read them, which is diabolical, guys. Absolutely diabolical. Like, just to give you a little sneak peek, this is a flow chart to read books. They made a flow chart because it's so convoluted, evidently. But I'm very excited. I cannot wait to read these. But I figured we'd discuss them. I don't know what rate I'm gonna try to read them. I think I set myself a little goal. I have a ton of books if you can't see, but this is my book of reading material. There's manga and stuff below this like level, but you can't see it unless I'm sitting down. This is all more so D&D and stuff, and you don't read these books. You use these are my magical tomes, as it were, when it comes to being a DM. The more of these I have, the better a DM obviously I am, because that's how it works. But I have a lot of these books, and a lot of these I haven't really read, truth be told, you know? I mean, I know this Way of Kings, you can't tell, but it is worn, and that's because I gave it to my little brother, and he wore this book out. I think the only real books on here that I've read are the Knight series, this whole span of 4 books, and then, actually, I don't even have the other one, because I guess I didn't have physical versions. But I bought all these books because they're all known series, right? I wanted to read them. And so I was like, well, let's get started. What was I looking at? Guys, I blanked. I blanked so hard. I ADHD'd so hard. Moving on. Okay. I got so much stuff I want to yap about. I gotta move one step at a time. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose myself. We'll start with the Horus Heresy. The first chapter is pretty good. I enjoyed it a lot. In the first chapter, you get a lot of personality from several of the characters it talks about. I expected it to be more Primarch focused. I'm not gonna lie. I also did not expect it to start where it started. I didn't know really where it was gonna start in terms of like all the stuff that goes on during the Horus Heresy. But we follow the main character, I guess, as it were, for the first chapter. Shoot, is it Loken? I don't think it's Loken. I read it a couple hours ago, so it's not fresh on my mind. But it really confused me, okay? I'm just gonna talk about the thing I disliked most about it. I enjoyed the characters, in the first chapter. I really liked the characters they're setting up. However, it confused me to the point I had to look up a summary of chapter 1 because I thought it threw us straight in to the assault on Terra, but I know what they were describing was not the assault on Terra, but they're talking about assaulting an emperor. And so I was so mind boggled. I was like, what is going on? I was so lost. I had to go look up a summary as to what was occurring. So I could figure out what was happening. Because I was confused, I'm not gonna lie. That doesn't bode well that I got confused in the first chapter of the first book of a 40-book series, but that's why I have other people. I read it, I go, okay, I understand some of it, don't understand some of it, and then I go to the lore nerds, and then I go to the lore YouTubes, and I go, okay, we're gonna watch this video. Honestly, I'm a bit sad that, obviously, this book's copyright. You can't read the book on YouTube. But I think you know how cool it would be to have like a lore kind of Warhammer 40k person go page by page, read the page and be like, this is what's going on, yada yada yada. It'd be cool. It'd be cool to have it like playing on in the background, kind of like an audiobook, but a guy that's reading and then also giving you like the insider knowledge as to what's happening. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It had a lot more personality in the characters than I was expecting. Like I said, I was real worried, or I guess not worried, because I like the Primarchs. I thought it was gonna be a very Primarch like perspective story. But we just start with one of the captains of like a squad, I think. And honestly, I liked it a lot. I look forward to reading more of this. And I won't buy the books as I go. I'm not gonna do what I did with all the ones where I'm like, let's just buy the whole series. I'm sure I'm gonna read these. Because I bought the whole Harry Dresden series, right? Not a bad. No, I don't regret that because that's a good series. But I ended here. I ended on the 4th book, and I have none of these down here. I have read. They're all just stockpiled. Because I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I got the deadbeat, and I couldn't get past the first chapter. I've tried to read it 3 times now, and every single time I just kind of bounce off of it. It's really sucks because the first 3 of the Harry Dresden series, bops, absolute bangers, loved them, fantastic. That one, I just can't. I bounced off it 3 times. Eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to get around to reading it because that's a chronological story that you kind of need to read the one book before you move to the next. And so obviously I got to read that book at some point if I want to continue. But moving on, let's talk about the first chapter of Game of Thrones. Again, didn't expect to start where we started. This starts with some members of the Watch on the other side of the wall, you know, traveling as it were through the woods. A very cocky, pompous kind of young guy leading these 2 old people who obviously know what's up. And if you've watched Game of Thrones, or you're kind of in that Game of Thrones general area, you know what's going on. You know that the old man's like, oh, the White Walkers, oh, he doesn't say it, but he implies it several times. He's like, the dead are gonna rise, the dead are rising. And obviously there's that quote that everybody quotes all the time. It's in the, oh wow, I didn't think, actually, this chapter's kind of small. I gotta be very delicate. These words are, where is it at? Well, I guess it's not on the first page. I thought it was on the first page. And I can't remember it off the top of my head because my head's a big bulb of getting lost. But evidently, there's that quote that everybody quotes about the White Walkers that I evidently am not going to be able to quickly find. Honestly, I should probably start kind of labeling my book as I go. I don't know if I want to do like book reviews. I just like yapping about the stuff I'm enjoying. But the first chapter follows 3 members of the Night's Watch on the other side. They're following this young guy who's like, I'm not gonna go back a failure. We're gonna find these wildlings. We're gonna get them. We're gonna bring them back. And obviously, it doesn't go the way they intended. The old man, which ambiguously, I don't think we see at the end of this chapter because he gets left behind with the horses. But the young guy eventually gets to camp. They find all the dead bodies have left. Young guy's like, evidently the wildlings left. They're not actually dead. Yada, yada, yada. The White Walkers show up. He puts up a somewhat good fight. Gets murked. The guy in the tree climbs down. He's like, oh, well, guess I gotta grab this sword and go back and tell him this guy's dead. And then he gets got. But the old man, nowhere to be seen, you know. Wouldn't be surprised if he ran off, because I won't be honest, I would have probably ran off. But I enjoyed that. I have, the thing about it is I enjoyed the show up to a certain point. Not gonna say when. I started having a rough time, but I've heard great things about the books. I really want to get back into reading, and I think my selection of books goes hard. I think I've got a great selection of books. I hadn't read the Hobbit. I got this nice little kind of leather cover. It's very nice. It's a very nice feeling book. Question. I don't think, I mean, maybe because like, I'll show just a brief kind of page, kind of jam packed. Oh, my bookmarker just went in the book. I gotta get that out. This book is only like 200 pages, and I felt like The Hobbit would probably have been longer. Maybe I'm wrong. I gotta make sure I got like the actual right copy, but I intend on reading this along with these other 3 books as I progress. Oh, I was talking about my goal for reading and stuff. I set a goal of I said 30. In retrospect, I've got 3 months. That'd be 10 books a month. Is that feasible? Probably. I could probably do that. I think that would be my entire bookshelf though. Not gonna lie. But honestly, I need to read more. I'm gonna be honest, I need to read more. I got all the books. I might as well read them. I've been enjoying a lot of mediums as of lately. Honestly, the least favorite form of media for me currently is TV shows and movies. I don't watch TV shows or movies anymore, guys. I am either, honestly, lately, I've been playing a lot of games with my friend, my cousin and stuff. We've just been playing Space Marine 2. And I've been just vibing with everybody, having a good time. But like my main forms of media is just video games and then YouTube videos. And I found some pretty, I feel like obscure kind of YouTubers. They got a kind of a big following, but they're not like crazy, big. And I just kind of play, like, I like the long form. They have nice voices, and they're just playing like RimWorld, Total Warhammer 3, and they're just great background noises. I basically put those on, and I play video games. And like I just haven't really felt like I don't know what's different. I just generally I'm like not that interested in like movies and TV shows and all that stuff. Like there are animes I want to watch, but I don't feel compelled to watch them. I don't feel like, oh, I should take the time out of my day to watch this. And I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing to have that, like, you know, maybe it's because I'm like, I have so much stuff vying for my attention of the little time I'm willing to dedicate to myself, that they kind of just fall to the wayside. Because like I said, I would love nothing more than to do the thing where I'm like, oh, let me watch a show. Let me record myself watching the show. And then, you know, I'll put it on YouTube, you know, I'm not going to call it a reaction because I'm probably just going to sit there and be like, oh, this is good. This is good. But to, set aside like hours to just exclusively watch something, I don't think I can do it at this point. I think I've trained myself, right, to constantly be playing a game and having something go on the other monitor. Like I can't just play a game. I have to be playing a game and watching a YouTube video, or hanging out with my friends and playing a video game, which I guess is not the same thing, but I constantly have to be getting engaged, I guess. I don't know the right word for it. But I constantly have to be like super focused on what I'm doing. Like I have to have a lot of man, I really wish I knew this word. Rat. I could look so sophisticated right now, but I just can't. I can't think of the word. Because I've heard people talk about it before. But yeah, like I just sit around and just do one thing. Like I have so much stuff I want to watch, to read, to play. I can't just do one at the right time, you know? Because, dude, there are so many games that I want to play, that I want to talk about, that I want to play, have a good time. But it's like, where do you get the time to play them all? I need people to turn into cyborgs, and I need to be able to turn into a robot where I don't have to pay bills. I don't have to think about anything else except maybe spending time with my robot family and enjoying the stuff I want to enjoy. Can we just get to that point? Can I just jump forward, you know, 10,000 like years? Hopefully it doesn't end up like Warhammer like 40K, where like we go through a great space depression and everything, you know. I'd like to avoid that if possible. I just want to lounge around and enjoy the time I have, you know what I'm saying? If only I didn't have to work, guys, you know. Only there was a way that I could get away from having to work and just doing whatever I wanted to all day. guys, it's crazy, but I mean, I have this crazy idea. Perhaps if we got to 1,000 subscribers, and maybe I don't know, I cooked up some live streams to maybe farm some watch time, we could perhaps maybe get monetized, and I could earn a little bit of money, and that little bit of money would snowball, and I would invest in the next Bitcoin. No, I'm not bad at the stock market, okay? That's a weird segue, but I'm not bad. I've not lost money in the stock market. All the money I've played, I've not hit it big, surely. Otherwise, I wouldn't be working, guys. But I made money. Not a lot, because then I had to pay taxes on it. But I think I got more money back from taxes when I got money back from stocks. I mean, I had to pay for my, that whole thing to get put in my taxes, but I did think I got more money back from the taxes. But that's money stuff, and I have no idea how taxes work, because we're not supposed to know, because we're just the little peons that pay the government a bunch of money, and then they go, here's a fraction of your money back. And I go, well, I guess that's okay. Didn't mean to get a little downer. I know that was a little bit of a downer segue. But I'm reading again, guys. That's what the video was about. I'm reading again. And I will hopefully have stuff to talk about most days. I can't say I will have stuff to talk about Monday through Thursday. I really struggle to have stuff to talk about Monday through Thursday, being as that's the day I work. And lately, just work has not given me a break to just scroll Twitter or stuff like I used to. Nah, when I go into work, man, it is working from the time I get there to break to working back to break to working to break to going home, basically. And it is nonstop. I'm doing my job. I'm doing the warehouse's job. We're just juggling so much stuff at work. It's just ridiculous. And these stupid stores, guys, they won't hit me back up. They don't see the star employee that they could have. I just need a home for long enough for me to shed off all this freaking weight so that I can get comfortable doing work in my own body, that I can be like, oh, I could definitely stand up on my legs for 10 hours a day. And then I would jump at it, right? It's like, this is gonna be this might be a long video, I don't know. But I feel like I've got a couple things, right, that hold me back from, I guess, bettering myself. One is I debuffed myself heavily by making myself big, because I didn't do good enough in college to kind of get a formal education, to get a white collar job, which is what I think at this point probably should aspire to, unless you're going to work on a oil rig or a mine. I don't know. All the TikTokers that do that, and they're like, I work 6 months and make multiple figures, then I spend the next 3 months doing whatever I want. I'm like, that must be nice. But currently I think I've kind of put myself in a corner where I kind of have to work kind of the dumb physical labor jobs, which I don't hate. I want to put on record, I don't mind doing this. I actually I feel like having to have done as much work as I've been doing has made me feel good. So I won't lie, it's both a love and hate of being the backbone of your workplace, where you're a core. I know if I was not there, stuff would go, it would start having problems. I'm a great cog in the machine, but I also hate the fact that I'm such a big cog in the machine. I missed when I was just a little cog that did my part, didn't have to worry about anything, and was just I'm here, I do my thing, and then I go home. Now I'm here, and people have to ask me for things, and I have to figure out things, and I'm having to do too much brain work, truthfully. I don't like having to use my brain at work, because that's more responsibility on myself. I love not having responsibility at work. Even though when push comes to shove, I feel like I have been very good, I guess managerial, I guess I would say. I'm a great team player. I think I can confidently say that. And I feel like if I had to be a team lead, I feel I would be a great team lead, but I think I'd be too soft, okay? And that's where I think I'd fall short, is maybe I would have the gall if I had the authority to go be like, hey, yo, you're the weak link. Come on, can you step it up? Obviously, I'd say it nicer than that. But like, in my life, in my jobs, one of the most disappointing things I have had is when you have to put your head and your hands, you get down in the dirt and you're working hard. You have to lock in and get the work done. And the men above you don't help at all. They just sit there and watch, or they make it even harder for you by speeding up how fast you have to be going, or they're like pushing you to your limits, you know? And obviously, maybe, sure, they work to get above you, so maybe they could do that. But also, you know, it's bad for morale. I think from a standpoint, if you're a boss and you come, like, you can tell your workers are struggling and you come down and you help them, I feel like it's a big morale boost. I think it's, honestly, if more bosses did that, your workers would probably be a lot more happier. I mean, like, there obviously is the stress of, oh my god, my boss is down here, I gotta lock in. Like, if you do it enough, they'll just be like, oh, the boss is down here to help kind of ease the burdens, to help us keep moving. I definitely feel like there are a bunch of positives to that. But yeah, what a segue to go from talking about books to talking about how you could be a better boss. That's what you get here on this channel, evidently. You can be just talking about random shenanigans. As y'all can see, I did add some statues and stuff. Guys, I need a camera that's 360 so I can decorate the entire room and just keep buying more and more statues to put on display. Because I don't have friends. I can't show this to people in real life. I want my room, I just want to show everybody my cool knickknacks, you know what I'm saying? But that's it, guys. I'm all over the place. I'm having a great weekend, evidently. Just having a blast. I went to the store. I got stuff to cook. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna meal prep some chicken, meal prep some hamburger meat if I can get it cooked, or thawed, I mean. And then I might try to make some weird protein cookie thing. I don't know. I've got the stuff. I want to try making a dessert with all this. I've got a ton of protein powder, truth be told. My little brother gave me some of his protein powder when we went off to college. And I'm trying to think of ways to use it so it don't go bad. And the best ways I can think of using it is probably like, I've got a vanilla that tastes very similar. Do you know the little pudding, like the vanilla pudding packets you can get from the store in the United States? I don't know the exact brand, but you know, the little pudding cups. The vanilla flavored one. That protein powder smells and tastes exactly like that. Like, straight up exactly like that. And my chocolate one is not too bad itself. And so I was thinking of maybe I could make like a vanilla something. I also bought some bananas, but they're super, like, they're green, so they're not super sweet and malleable. And I don't know if that would make good banana bread. But I thought of maybe making like a protein banana bread just to kind of use it up. And all that jazz. But I'm sure I'll come up with some crazy recipes tomorrow. And yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you have a fantastic Saturday. I hope I said that at the beginning of the video. If I didn't, I do apologize. We're at 410 subscribers. Hey, you guys rock. We're already 10% of the way to 500. Steadily climbing. Like I said, I'm hoping eventually I won't spend all weekend playing Space Marine 2, even though it's just such a good time, guys. I have so much fun just hanging with the lads. We played for like 10 hours today just playing Space Marine 2. Like, the latest video I have is an hour and 35 minutes. And even though I'm not the best, it's pretty good. The Space Marine 2 is a pretty good game, guys. If you like Warhammer 40k and like even the main story, if you just play the main story, it's arguably a good time. But if you play the PvE, I'm not gonna lie, the bots in PvE, terrible. Do not like them at all. If you have two friends that can play the game with you, it is significantly, like, it's just a much better time. But yeah, I'm gonna go, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And as always, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.